Hello and welcome back to the Place to Be Reviews. I'm Tepukuyan right here with all of yous. And in lieu of there being no Batwoman episode last night, November 24th, thank goodness I don't have to do a review of it today, but I'm going to give you my thoughts on the Walking Dead season finale based on this article from IGN. It came out last night. The Walking Dead season 10 episode 8, The World Before mid-season finale review. By Matt Fowler's, published last night at 10:19. I'll go through this with you, and then I'll give you my thoughts on what transpired in the episode. With last week's episode, Open Your Eyes, showcasing Season 10's best efforts to date, it was unlikely the mid-season finale was going to top it, and it didn't. But it sure seemed like it was trying during the first 20 minutes or so, and we got all our questions about Dante answered. Rosita took him down and saved Coco from a zombified Sadiq, which was a great scene. I was like, please let us get a Walker Sadiq, and we did. And Gabriel went nuts and murdered Dante in his cell. That was what I have been waiting for to happen with Seth Gilliam's character, Father Gabriel. Since he came on the show, he's shot some people during the all-out war with the Saviors. We've seen his arc, which is his transformation in his arc go so far, which is why it's kind of surprising that he is honestly still alive. I was kind of worried about him for a while, but he did just destroy Dante. Dante taunted him, and wow, did Father Gabriel just go nuts. I mean, just went completely ham. Those were all very interesting and intense moments, and I mentioned last week how I hoped Rosita would get to be the one to take Dante out. She beat the shit out of him. Props on a very well choreographed fight scene between Javier Cardenas and Christian Serratos. That was wonderful. I was just afraid, that was good editing is what it was. I was just afraid things wouldn't come to a head as quickly as they did. Like that episode would take its sweet ass time with the full reveal of Dante's betrayal, but we got it right out of the gate, so The World Before gets some solid points digging into it right quick. I thought it was a good episode. Was it the best mid-season finale? No, but I thought it was a good episode. The rest of the episode sort of sloped downward after all this, though. It had to square peg a Michonne exit into the story super quickly. Words are hard. By introducing Kevin Carroll's suspicious loner character Virgil into the proceedings, and then producing a reason why Michonne would take off with this dude. It's for a possible weapons catch on Bloodsworth Island or something. It just all felt too forced. Maybe it's because we haven't seen Michonne since Silence Whispers, which aired about a month ago. Now we're catching back up with her, and she's taking off with a guy, for all appearances, who doesn't seem all that stable or trustworthy. I'm not really worried about Michonne. Michonne's not off the show just yet, but this is the last time she'll be seen with the series regulars. Presumably, her trek to the island is what will take her off the series, either in death or in a Rick-like exodus that possibly carries her over into the Rick movies, which I think it will. While watching, you had to take note of how this was not most likely her last interactions with Judith, who is really the only notable character she was traveling with. I mean, Luke was there, but Michonne doesn't necessarily have a deep care space for him. No, she does not. Also, how much should we be reading into the character named Dante and Virgil appearing this season? Is Michonne about to take a tour of the 9 Circles of Hell? Nice. That might be a metaphor right there, and I didn't think of that. That is very cool. Daryl and Carol's... Okay, so this Virgil character, his entrance was, it's kind of like, he has the orange backpack. Any of you familiar with the fan theory that the orange backpack, anyone with an orange backpack is kind of cursed? We saw it happen in the earlier seasons with one of the guys the wolves killed, and it was kind of just a cool little Easter egg thing going on there with this orange backpack. So, yeah, that was there. But Virgil has it, so is he cursed? Who knows? The guy does, like I said, he doesn't seem too stable, but I'd like to see where this is going. It seems like if they were going to this island to get this weapons, quote unquote, catch to just end the Whisper War, it seems like almost like a MacGuffin, but I don't know if Michonne's coming back. Like I said, she's leaving the series, so this is probably going to be her route of exit, so I don't know. I don't know exactly how many episodes she has left, though, so Daryl and Carol's clarification session worked well, as he had every right to call her out on lying to him on several occasions. "I'm the one you tell," he said. Daryl spare with words, but that hit home. Not only are they the two closest characters on the show after Michonne and her kids and maybe Rosita and Eugene, but they've been through too much to keep stuff bottled up and away from one another, and that's absolutely correct. Daryl and Carol have one of the best dynamics on that show, and Melissa McBride and Norman Reedus really play off each other absolutely well when they share the screen together, so big ups to them. The predicament they all found themselves in at the end, however, where they got lured into a cave and trapped by Alpha's herd, felt weirdly un-Walking Dead. I thought it was cool, actually, because we haven't got that yet, and it's 10 seasons in, so for them to do something new and inventive like that is really, really cool. We never really leave for a long break on a note involving just a bunch of walkers. Walkers have become the least threatening part of the series. We literally just saw Alexandria fend off wave after wave of walkers in montage form. So as quote-unquote hopeless as this scenario seems, there's always a way out. Sure, someone who isn't Carol or Daryl could perish here when the season resumes, but it'd just be happenstance. It'd be because the show deemed it time for someone to go, and not because these characters can't be written to evade all forms of walker attacks, which is true. Gabriel's brutal slaughtering of Dante. Hang on, we have to pause the recording session here. I apologize for that. I usually don't ever have to do that in the middle of one of these kind of just point and shoot videos, but my dog is absolutely going nuts. I don't know if I've got my filter on the mic, so I don't know if you can hear that or not off camera, but she is just going nuts. I thought somebody was at the door. So we're at Gabriel's brutal slaughtering of Dante was the most interesting thing he's been a part of since his interactions with Negan. Absolutely. I thought that was really cool. I was absolutely, like I said earlier, I was happy to see Father Gabriel finally just give into those baser urges and just go ham on somebody. And he did, and it did not disappoint, literally, at all. Well, I did that. And all of it designed to basically push him away from Rosita and as the show slowly nudges Rosita toward Eugene, who somehow quickly got to Alexandria for Sadiq's funeral and helped her take down walkers. Maybe. It's not a guarantee, but it feels like the mechanisms are in place to force these two into coupledom. First, Sadiq, who wasn't with Rosita, but who was still in the picture, gets taken out, and now Gabriel, who was already acting coldly toward Rosita, does something that will shatter him spiritually. Well, this might be the end of Seth Gilliam's run on the show. But, he has had a great arc, and so I'm happy with it. I don't mind. Like I said, I hate to see a character like that go because I like Seth Gilliam. Actually, I just watched Starship Troopers not long ago, and he's in Starship Troopers, so that's a great movie. It is. I suppose I'm a little worried about Aaron at this point, though you'd think he was safe considering Sadiq just got killed off, and Aaron's now a solid B-tier character with a cool metal arm. I only mention this because he's had a lot of screen time this season, and this week he was featured in several reflective moments, first feeling guilty about not spotting Dante as the cruel monster he was, and then in a sweeter scene with a grown-up Grace. Did we ever find out if she was actually Negan's kid? Usually this type of rumination means the end of the road for a character. Gabriel's probably ahead of him in line, though, chopping block-wise. Yeah, I could see that. Ross Marquand is absolutely killing the role of Aaron, and he's a great actor, and it's really cool how they've modeled his look on the show after Comic Rick. From the shape of his beard to the metal arm, although Rick didn't have the weapon on it like he did in the comics, like Aaron does in the show, but it's still very cool nonetheless. I just accidentally turned the volume down because I have my headphones on opposite sides. I did the opposite today. I did a Costanza. So let's see what this author says the verdict is, and then I'll give you my take on the episode. The best parts of The World Before happened in the first half, leaving Michonne's choice to take off with a stranger across the water to find some guns feeling like a sag and stumble in the story. I can agree with that. The cliffhanger didn't have much bite either, though at least it signals an outright end to the Cold War that consumed these first 8 season 10 episodes. Yeah, I really was hoping that they were going to wrap up the whole Whisper War before we got to, the mid-season finale, honestly. But realistically, I should have expected they were going to take at least 3/4 of the season to do it and slowly build into that CRM, Commonwealth type arc. And my only fear is that's where they ended the comic, and I just do not want the show to end. I saw an article that they were planning on ending it in like 2022 or season 12, but I don't see them doing that, especially not with the Rick Grimes. They're not going to end the show with just starting a new show, because you're not going to take the main show off the air and then leave Fear the Walking Dead in this new the world, whatever we'll look at an article about the new show here in another video, because I'm going to cover that too, because I believe we got a small trailer for it and some plot information, stuff like that. So we're gonna do that into another video. But I don't. This is a look at Judith here. She had a little badass moment this episode, as she kind of took Virgil out, slashed his shin with her little baby shetty, which was really cool. This is Gamma, Thora Birch's character. I didn't call her Bella Thorne that time, although Bella Thorne would, another redhead, very attractive. But no, Thora Birch has played a cool role in this. And Gamma, those of you who don't know, Thora Birch was a little girl in Hocus Pocus. But so she's had a good role in this. Her little interactions with Aaron have gone well, and they're kind of brokering a deal now. And she's starting to give Aaron information about the Whispers. I don't think she purposely misled him. I think Alpha knew what she was doing and moved the walkers into that cave. And I do believe that Thora Birch's character will be killed off before the end of season 10 by Alpha, before Alpha's probably killed by Negan. Spoiler alert if you haven't read the comics. So this was they had their little battle with the walkers at Oceanside. It was cool. We haven't been back to Oceanside in a while. Samantha Morton is being just great as Alpha, and that whole scene with leading the survivors. This was the scene right here where Judith had whacked Virgil in the shin with her machete. This was when they were going into the cave. Yeah, I mean, see, so I don't really see you losing any of these characters. They did show a scene with Cooper Andrews' character Jerry in the middle of some looked like dire circumstances. So I really hope we don't lose Jerry, because Jerry is one of my favorite characters. Kelly and Connie, another pair I really like. Magna, I do really like her character too. Pretty much following the lines of her comic story. A little more info in the show. Yumiko, once Michonne leaves, is probably going to take Michonne's role as the attorney. As we know, they introduced that line previous episode. I'm not your attorney. You're not my attorney anymore. With Magna and Yumiko in their discussion. So they're going to use that to fill the role of Michonne that she had in the comics, because she went to the Commonwealth and found her daughter Elodie, who had been missing since the beginning. They were separated. So I'm not saying that we're going to have the daughter circumstance. All I'm going to with Yumiko is they haven't really mentioned anything about her having a family or anything, which I'm not saying she didn't, but I don't know. They haven't really touched on it, or if they did, I've kind of missed it maybe. But I can see her definitely filling that role as Michonne, and I enjoy, I like her character. I have no issue with Yumiko's character. They've been really well plotted out so far. And I mean, as far as like any, the gay stuff goes, there's no complaints here, because it's been basically organic. And it was that way in the comics, so it's not like it's a surprise to, viewers on the show. And if you're offended by that, get over it. You know what I mean? It's not ham-fisted stuff either. Everybody's worried before Angela Kang took over as showrunner that it was going to become this, the women in the show were already strong. I mean, look at Melissa McBride, Carol Peltier's arc. She started out as this, defeated, beaten housewife, and she turned into this, boss-ass female lady warrior of the apocalypse. Kelly and Connie, despite their handy, quote-unquote, disabilities, they're both badass characters, and they're good characters. I love Jerry's character. He's been the comic relief. He's also been serious and badass. He's got a family now, which gives him something more to fight for. Aaron, the same thing with his daughter. It's very, and he's kind of fighting on for the memory of Eric, which it fleshes out these characters so nicely the way they've done it. And kudos to Angela Kang for all that they've done in this season, as far as I'm concerned. Like I said, I would have been a little bit happier seeing this entire arc wrap up in a half a season, but that would have kind of been a little bit too much to pack into all these episodes. I think if you did a couple more extended episodes this year, this first half of the season, but I would have left it on. I would have preferred a CRM cliffhanger at the finale, but like I said, they could take this whole thing and they'll probably take the rest of this season, and then at the very end of the season, because I'm not reading spoilers or anything at this point. I'm trying to just kind of consume it as it comes and find the news and everything, but no spoilers. So as far as like moving forward goes, this episode, if you haven't seen it yet and you're watching this, I'll put a spoiler warning on the title of the video, so you've been warned. But no, I really I like the direction of the show. It's had its missteps, but for the most part, I think these after post All Out War, it's gotten better, and I like the Whisper arc. Samantha Morton, Ryan Hurst, absolutely great as Alpha and Beta. Negan's brief interaction with Alpha was great last episode. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to seeing if they do the kind of Night in the Woods where Negan kills Alpha, and kind of takes her head. Well, he took her head back to Rick in the show. This time it would be, either Father Gabriel or somebody at Hilltop. So, Carol and Daryl. But that would be Alexandria. That would be great. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. What did you guys think of this episode? If you watched it, did you not watch it? Are you interested in the new show? And let's see here. We have one more thing I wanted to kind of touch on here. Let's see. No, that was not. Yeah, this is an article from Forbes. We'll see if this loads here. I have a ton of windows open, so this might be a little bit slow. But I think that Michonne's probably got one or two more episodes left this season, before she takes off out of the show. So let's kind of scroll through this here. No, that wasn't how Michonne leaves The Walking Dead. Out of here. Last night was the mid-season finale of The Walking Dead. It was less explosive than past mid-season finales, but pretty decent all the same. Spoilers followed. We went through spoilers. Let's see. I don't know if they have anything in here. Okay, so here Kang is. Let's see. Okay, so she goes off of Virgil. There's a little bit of a trip there, so no, we won't see her right away when we come back. But I won't exactly say when she comes back in the back half. But there is more story for her. There's some meaty content that will go with her that will hopefully be cool for the audience. She's going to go through some really emotional and complicated decisions. There's going to be some stuff that will introduce some very interesting intrigue into her story as well. I hope we've done right by her. I think she's just absolutely brilliant. That's about as much as I can say without giving too much away. Okay, so here Kang is even confirming that she will indeed return from the island. As one though I had is that maybe we got some sort of episode there and she ends up abducted by the helicopter people and never makes it back. That could be a possibility. Was it me or was that clunky wording? But she will return to presumably save the day with these promised Navy weapons, which would be cool. Though what those will be, I'm not sure. I'm picturing Michonne cruising back on the deck of a battleship or something and launching guided missiles into the Horde, but that may be too extreme. Yeah, that's not just aim and shoot like a video game. We have seen more of Michonne this season than many thought we would, as early implications were that she might only be around for a couple early episodes then vanish, but it seems like she's going to be around in some capacity until at least the end of the Whisper arc, presuming it wraps up by the end of the season. But we do know that she will be gone by the time the new Commonwealth comes around, as Yumiko is already being groomed to take her place in the storyline, see? I do think it would have been pretty weird for Michonne to just sail off in search of weapons and never come back again. That's like the little brother from the Brady Bunch walking up the stairs and never come, or no, Happy Days, walking upstairs and never coming back down. So it's good to know that she will not only be seen again, but make it off the island. Angela Kang already had to pull one magic trick to get Rick off the show without killing him. And with early reports indicating that Michonne is leaving to join Rick's movies and is not dying, there will be another trick shot the series has to make. So, yeah. Let's see. I believe before World Beyond, the new spinoff airs in the spring. I'm guessing it leaves The Walking Dead as a lead-in for at least the pilot. Okay, so it's The World Beyond is the title of the new show. So I'm kind of I'm excited to see some footage and some trailers for that. So are you guys going to watch that? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to bitch slap that like button on the way out. My final score for this episode out of 5. I'll go 3.75 out of 5. It had enough in it to make me not lose my interest and be on my phone during the episode at all. I would have liked a little bit more, but like I said, I understand their cliffhangers, and I did like the cavern sequence. I do think it's kind of odd how, they just all, I understand they were chasing Alpha and Carol, but I mean, it was kind of wonky. I'm not gonna lie, that end scene was kind of wonky. I'm excited to see what this island, setup looks like. If it's like I said, a Navy fort, and they showed, I believe it was kind of like a U-boat with Michonne on it. So we'll see what they have there in store for us, and how they tie in the CRM/Commonwealth to it, and if they're going to push Eugene and Rosita together. Now, in the comics, if you remember, they were together. Rosita was pregnant with... I can't remember the character's name now. It was somebody else's baby, obviously, kind of like it is in the show. But Eugene was, taking care of her, and she died when she was pregnant. She never had the baby in the comics. So she was beheaded, and she was a Pike victim. So that's how that went. But yeah, that's my kind of thoughts on this episode. I thought it was good. Like I said, 3.75 out of 5. Not the greatest, but does that seem high out of 5? I don't know, but it did enough right for me to give it that, in my opinion. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. What do you think about the new show, The World Beyond? Are you excited for it or not? And will Fear the Walking Dead be as terrible as it was this past season, despite having a great cast and literally doing nothing with them? I don't know what they were thinking. So, with that being said, this has been Tepokuyan's Place to Be Reviews, Walking Dead, Season 10, Episode 8. Final thoughts. Please leave a comment below. That really helps me in the algorithms. Leave a like, all that traction on the videos. Any interactions, that helps, guys. I don't care, thumb up, thumb down, or you hate watching the videos at this point. Just leave a comment below. I've got some pretty interesting ones as I look back at my videos. I see people go back and add comments on my old videos and think I'm not going to see them, and get a couple extra thumbs down in there, which is fine. You're interacting in the videos, making them relevant. So thank you for that. Please consider subscribing, as we're up to 123 subs at the time of this video. I'd like to thank and welcome all my new subscribers. Hope you enjoy the content. Tonight, 8:35 Eastern Standard Time, episode number 77 of the Place to Be Reviews. Myself and MJ will dive into the world of pop culture. We'll talk about Star Wars Episode 9, a huge weekend box office drop-off for Charlie's Angels after week 2, and much, much more, including MJ's Movie Monday and ETEP's weekend box office breakdown. That's all tonight on episode 77 of the Place to Be Reviews. Remember, there's no boardroom this week. It'll be on my channel a week from this coming Wednesday. The boardroom will be back here on the Place to Be Reviews. Tomorrow morning, you will have the show, about last night, episode number, 15 maybe. I don't have it offhand. I should have written it down, but whatever. There'll be a morning show tomorrow at around 8:35 a.m. Eastern Time. Yeah. Let me know what you guys think. And if I don't see you, remember, have a great day and a pleasant tomorrow.